Good Monday morning, Tim Sykes here. Just want to go over these penny stock pumps that are in play right now. There's money to be made and there's lessons to be learned. Learning quite a bit from just the reactions to my commentary uh, and my trades. I successfully bought or dip bought LRGR a few times late last week. Got a little fortunate the last time before it was really just, kept slipping. Lost a little on FUSZ on my latest dip buy. I don't know where the pumpers were. They weren't doing their jobs. Earlier in the week, I made a few $100s dip buying FUSZ. But aside from just the money being made, there are so many lessons. And that is what I want you guys to think about. Even if you're not profiting, even if you're not currently trading. I have several students who are just watching and learning. This is weird stuff. That's okay. At least get experience with this, because what you guys have to understand is that these stocks come and go, okay? Right now it's FUSZ and LRGR. I guarantee you that in a week, in a month, in a year, there's going to be totally new pumps. And I want you just to think back and start stringing them together. Start thinking, oh, I remember how this pump traded. Oh, I remember how this one. Because once you start thinking like that, you're better prepared for the next one. Also, obviously, study the past. This is why, we have my birthday sale going on. Study these guides, okay? My top students and I have worked our asses off on these guides. Penny Stocking Framework Part 2. Every single person watching this should see this new guide. A, it's on sale, 50% off for just the next few days. But B, it also goes over this exact pattern. So you should not be confused when LRGR does this. You should not be surprised when, people are messaging me like, how did you know it was going to be due for a big drop? It looked like it was the strongest stock in the market because it's being pumped. This is how pumps go. Look at EMMD. If you want an education on a little while ago, EMMD was once upon a time the best stock, right? Back more than a year ago. Damn, time flies. Wow, I'm getting old. Hold on, my Wi-Fi is not that great. You're killing me, Wi-Fi. Don't you know I'm in the middle of a video lesson? Hold on, let me restart this. Oh, there it is. You can't really see it, but this was when it was really in play, okay? Then it later got halted and crashed, but this was when it was being pumped. 30 cents to $4. If you remember RETC, this was even further back. I guess it was around the same time, back in 2017, and this one was pumped and it crashed. There was no bounce. So some of you guys are like, why is LRGR not bouncing? Not every pump bounces, okay? Sometimes it just crashes and it keeps crashing. So you can never just dip by and, average down. You have to think about the past. So I'm proud of some of you guys for bringing up RETC. Sorry, my internet is crap right now. I'll post a link to this sale underneath this video. But I also wanted to give props. A lot of you guys were surprised about Tim Lento. He's the chat room moderator, but he's also a very successful trader. He is closing in on $250,000 in profits. He was shorting LRGR. This is what he does. He shorts these pumps. So in this video lesson, God, you're killing me, Wi-Fi. You're killing me. For some of you guys think that I'm like making up like my Wi-Fi issues to like get out of trades. Like, no, I just have crap Wi-Fi. I go to like third world countries. I go to crazy places with my charity. Sometimes the Wi-Fi isn't great. But LRGR, FUSZ are tanking. A lot of people are just, trying to ignore it. They're trying to pretend that it doesn't happen. If you looked at my Twitter, it's kind of funny. I was really fighting with like a whole horde of FUSZ bag holders. And I want FUSZ to bounce, okay? I've been dip buying it. There have been no shares to short. I've been trying to dip buy it. I want the promoters to do a better job. With any luck, they'll come out with some press releases Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and bounce the sucker. But it's kind of funny. I got some messages from some of my students who actually tried to defend me on Twitter. And, here's one student. He's not that, talkative, but he says, never realized how closed-minded some people were until I replied to a message on your Twitter to someone who doesn't like that you're calling FUSZ a pump, even though I've received 12 newsletters since January. So KRS-One posted all of the different promos on FUSZ, and there's so many more. I mean, this is just a small taste, but this is what I'm saying with a pump. And I'm not going so far as to say they're pump and dumping. I don't know what's legal and what's illegal. It's a pump-looking chart, okay? The stock was up. Let's see if my Wi-Fi will take the chart. Um, oh, now it's down. But the stock was up from 10 cents to $3. Okay, 30 times your money in a few months. And some people think this is just normal. They're like, oh, FUSC has great technology. Of course the stock goes up 30 times. No, you fucking morons, okay? It's not because they're such an amazing company. It's because there's some kind of pumping going on. As you can see by, some of these newsletters. Like, it's black and white, and I have hundreds more too if you really want to get into it. Like, oh, there's no newsletters. Oh, what? Well, I don't understand this. Well, I don't know what these emails are. I've never seen these emails. Come on, don't be so stupid. It's a pump looking chart and there are emails pumping it up. I don't care if they have the best technology in the world. The reason that the stock is going up is because of the email pumping. And the reason why the stock is crashing is because this is how email pumps die. Okay, sometimes they die all in one day, like LRGR, with no bouncing because they got a skull and crossbones, and everyone's like, oh shit, it's not a quality company. FUSZ still has so many believers. And frankly, I want the stock to bounce. Okay, this is what is so confusing to FUSC bag holders. They're like, but Sykes is ripping on the company, but he says he's buying. I don't know what to believe. He must be a naked short. They say that it's the naked shorts that are to blame for the stock going down. Every single pump that has ever been questioned when the stock crashes has always blamed naked shorts, something that you can't prove or disprove. So it's like freaking Santa Claus. So they just make that up. I don't know why the stock is dipping. I just know the pattern inside and out. My guess is that it's some restricted shares that are becoming unrestricted, and that's why the stock is just, getting obliterated. Again, I want the stock to bounce, okay? I don't want it to keep going down, but just look at how confused some of these believers in FUSZ. I don't know if these are the promoters or if they're just bag holders or, if they're a mix. But he says, look at this. He's like, I'm trying to swing people to dump into lower bids. I don't know what that means. I don't know how to swing people to dump into lower bids. I want it to dip, yes, but it's been dipping on its own. Now I want it to freaking bounce. I've been trying to dip buy this thing for several days in a row and it hasn't been bouncing. I'm not trying to do anything other than educate my students as to what is happening here. And here's another FUSZ believer. In essence, it is. You view the stock based on the chart, so you see it as a P&D given the current pattern, correct? To someone else who's invested in this company based on fundamentals and potential, they don't see it that way. They give it a valuation based on potential. And this is what is so comical. Thinking that, a company that is being pumped by emails has fundamentals and potential. This is the problem with most penny stock traders and penny stock investors. They get confused. They think that a company's product and technology is how to value the stock. They don't understand there's a million other games being played with penny stocks. And I didn't understand it once upon a time. If you read my book, Cygnus E-Transactions, I personally lost $500,000 plus because I was confused. So after getting burnt once and witnessing probably, I'd say a fair estimate is 800 more of these in real time, guess what? I've learned that, the technology and the product is not what the company is selling. The company is selling the stock in some shape or form. Anyways, here is this guy says, you should take 5 minutes of your day to view the actual tech. It can honestly help you with your educational videos and nonprofit. Retention rate is 600%. Like, so this person is trying to say that it's all about the revenues and it's all about the product. And, I just don't care because I know that's all ridiculous. And I said this, I was like, it's not technical versus fundamental. It's a fucking pump. What's wrong with you people? This is like debating whether it's 2018 or 1918. It's not a debate. It's fact. Holy shit, I give up. You bag holders are just destined to lose it all. Remember who warned you. And this is the sad truth. No matter what I do to teach, pattern wise, history wise, statistics wise, or even if they see the emails, they still can't believe that they are so blindsided. So they can't, they just can't give up. And that is the problem. because you go down with the ship. I was talking with somebody, I think they had 22,000 shares or $22,000 worth in at 277, and now it's at 122. They just can't give up. They can't change their thesis now. They're too far in because they've lost half their money or more. As a trader, you can never risk losing half your money. Okay, if you risk losing half your money, I don't care if you're eventually proven right. You can't manage your account like that. You can't ever risk being down 50% on a position. If you're ever down that much, even if you're down 30%, like your thesis is wrong, fucking move on, accept it. But these people can't. Here's another tweet. Look at this. This is another post by Tim showing he has no idea about the crap he spews. Check out the Oracle NetSuite site and you'll see the notification is available already from FUSZ. There's a difference between a P&D and a legit company. Paid promoters like this fool know that. So now I'm the paid promoter. Now I'm the bad guy, I guess. But, I don't understand. Why are there emails? Why are there so many emails? And again, hundreds more that I could show if I really wanted to, but I don't even need to, put in the effort. Here's another tweet. This guy is Dylan Lucky Matthew, and he is so in on FUSC. I'm guessing he is the promoter because he is so in. Like, look at this. He's taking pictures with his sunglasses, like as if a promoter would. A lot of these promoters are cokeheads, so this wouldn't be that far from what a promoter would post. But they're saying, look, our technology will change the world. Cheers to new investors and longs. Team Fuse, and they're going to the airport to see the tech. Guys, if you had read my book, you would know that I once upon a time saw Cygnus's tech. I went to Six Flags when they were installing the fucking Cygnus print at home, kiosk. I shook hands with Mark Shapiro, who was CEO of Six Flags, saying, oh my God, this technology is amazing. It's going to change the amusement park world. And that day I put in another $100,000. Technology is not what is moving these stocks. Okay. But again, these people can't accept that. So they keep putting more and more, photos and videos and they're just trying to reassert themselves, even as the stock is clearly going, just downhill. Think about that. Why is the stock going so downhill when A, there's no shares to short, okay? B, everyone seems to be long and strong, like who's doing the selling? This is how pumps end, okay? It will happen again and again. And for those of you guys who are just watching this, learn, remember this. Start to think about the stupidity of bag holders and naivete. And I don't, relish in anybody's losses, but unless you learn the rules of the game, you're just going to get crushed. No different than like if you're driving my Ferrari and you don't know how to read road signs and the road sign says speed limit 35, school zone, and you go 200 miles an hour down, a twisty road and you crash and burn. Is it the Ferrari's fault or is it your fault for not knowing how to read the road signs? So, if you want to go down with the ship, then by all means, ignore my lessons, ignore history, ignore, hundreds and hundreds of charts before you and pumps before you and, wannabe technology companies before. If you want to, profit the way that I have, where, I have been dip buying, frankly, because again, there's no shorting available. And naked shorts, I really have a hard time believing, naked shorts. I've heard that it's like a ghost story, like, oh, the naked shorts must be doing it. The naked shorts. I mean, there's so much volume. I would be shocked if there was ever any naked shorts in these stocks. I think that those routes are pretty much clamped down. My guess is that it's restricted shares that are becoming unrestricted. And remember, this stock is up from 10 cents. So no matter how good the technology is, what if it goes down to 20 cents? It's still a double in 2018. Like you have to have some kind of perspective. Anyways, that's my spiel for today. Just want you to understand that the battle lines are drawn where you have these people who are so ingrained and they're just going to keep averaging down and keep trying to pump themselves up. And I'm hoping that the promoters, pump this stock up this week. I hope that it can bounce because that would make me richer. But at the same time, I'm not going to call it a good company I'm not going to call the technology good when it's irrelevant. It's this is a game that we have seen played hundreds of times. I have 5,500 video lessons. I've cataloged this pattern so many times, it's crazy, but ignore it at your own risk. I'll see you guys in the chat room. Pumpers, let's go. Let's get this thing up. Don't waste this multi-month breakout chart. That's the thing here, okay? Like, this stock has so many believers and such a nice chart pattern. It would be great to get another, maybe a double bottom. Maybe if it comes down to like 86 cents or something in double bottoms. But you do have to be careful. Maybe the promoters are caught in some other, investigation or something. And they can't do their job that they were doing before. Maybe there's just going to be more restricted shares becoming unrestricted. I don't know. But I'll be looking for a potential dip buy because that is my pattern. If you've read my, blog post, try this every morning. This is the pattern that I look for. It's not magic. It's not rocket science. It happens pretty much every day. And we've been seeing several bounces. FUSE was a little tough towards the end of last week. So I don't know. We'll see how this plays out, but just do me a favor and don't make the mistake of ever believing in any of these companies or their technology or their management or their products. That, I think, is the number one mistake that penny stock investors make. And they go down with the ship. And then, like if you're invested in LRGR, and you say, well, if my Wi-Fi comes back, and you say, hey, but it was going up every day. And then it crashes all in one day. And you're like, I hate penny stocks. Too many people blame penny stocks, for their own ignorance and not knowing how the game works, okay? LRGR, there's no way. Oh, come on, you're killing me. I can't even give good Wi-Fi. I can't even get it, so I don't even know. There we go. LRGR. Just don't hold a stock like, of course, right when I type it in. Don't hold a stock like this and just hold and hope. For any penny stock, but especially a play like LRGR where, it was going up. There were, emails galore. And this is a classic pump pattern. Learn to recognize the patterns, learn to respect the patterns, because the patterns are your friends. The patterns are not your enemies. The people who cling to some kind of thesis that, is not being, followed by the price action. That is the enemy, okay? I have no problem with believing in companies and believing in their tech. It feels good. I get it. Cheerleading is fun. But when the price goes against your thesis, recognize that and adapt and cut your losses quickly, or, take profits quickly. You can always get back in, but the biggest problem is that people fall in love with these companies and they just fall for them hook, line, and sinker, and they can never change. They can never adapt, and so they go down with the ship, and that's why penny stocks get a bad name. Like, LRGR, okay, it had bad news, so that's why it's dropping. FUSZ has not had bad public news, and that is what confuses so many people. It must be the naked shorts. There's no negative news, and yet the stock is dropping. Maybe it's just the restricted becoming unrestricted shares kind of thing. You have to understand the limitations of penny stocks. So when a penny stock goes from 10 cents to $3, be happy. If it goes from 10 cents to $1, be happy. That's best case scenario for these little plays. So learn to take profits, learn to get off the roller coaster and just lock it in. There's always going to be another one. I promise you, there will be another company promising some amazing technology. And there will be another company sending out, massive amounts of emails, pumping it up every few hours, every few minutes, every few days. So you're never going to miss out. All you can do is try to take advantage of each one of these plays as best you can. If there are shares to short, by all means, look for shares to short, and be like Tim Lento, who manages to find just a few thousand shares to short of these things, but now he's made roughly $250,000. So learn what works. If you understand this video lesson, leave a comment underneath this video saying, I will not go down with the ship. And that way, I want you starting to think like that and starting to think like, being a trader and being, reactive and adaptive and not just being so stuck in one position. That is the downfall of too many people.